In this video, here's what we'll cover: what emotions are actually for, how to name and understand an emotion, reducing vulnerability through everyday self-care, opposite action, shifting emotional momentum, building mastery and positive experiences. Do your emotions sometimes feel like they're running the show? Maybe you've been swept up by anger, sadness, or worry, said or did something you later regretted, and then struggled to steer your mood back on track. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. And here is the good news I share often in my practice. Managing your emotions is a skill you can learn, and dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT, gives us a clear and practical roadmap for doing it. Let me start with something that surprises a lot of people. Emotions are not the enemy. They are useful. Every emotion carries information and gets us ready to act. Fear tells us something might be a threat and readies us to protect ourselves. Anger flags that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness signals loss, and often pulls other people closer to support us. So the aim of emotional regulation is not to switch feelings off or to never feel sad, angry, or anxious again. It's to notice your emotions, treat them as real and meaningful, and then respond in ways that fit your goals and your values, instead of being dragged along by them. To manage a feeling, it helps to understand how it's built. In my practice, I often walk people through the way DBT breaks an emotion into parts. First, there's a prompting event, the thing that sets it off, which might be outside you, like a friend canceling plans, or inside you, like a memory. Then comes your interpretation, the meaning you give that event, which is why two people can react so differently to the very same moment. Next are the body sensations, the racing heart, the tight chest, the sinking stomach, then the action urge, the pull to do something, like to yell or to withdraw, and finally the expression, how the feeling actually shows up in your words, your face, and your behavior. Simply naming these parts is powerful. When you can say, "This is the trigger, this is a story I'm telling myself, and this is the urge," you create a little space. And in that space, you get to choose what happens next, rather than react on autopilot. The next idea often gets overlooked, and it's one of my favorites, because it's so practical. Sometimes our bodies quietly set us up to be swept away. When we're exhausted, unwell, running on skipped meals, or foggy from too much alcohol, our emotions become far harder to steady. DBT has a self-care skill for exactly this, and the reminders are simple. Look after physical illness rather than pushing through it. Eat balanced meals and try not to skip them. Go easy on mood-altering substances. Protect your sleep and move your body regularly, because gentle exercise genuinely helps settle emotion. None of this is dramatic, and that's the point. When your body is cared for, intense feelings are much less likely to spiral. Think of it as lowering the volume before the music even starts. Now, what do you do when a strong feeling has already taken hold, and the urge attached to it would only make things worse? This is where a skill called opposite action comes in. The steps are straightforward. Name the emotion, check the facts, and ask honestly whether the feeling really fits the situation. Notice the urge it's driving you toward, and then, if that emotion doesn't fit the facts or acting on it wouldn't help, do the opposite, fully and wholeheartedly. If sadness is telling you to shut the curtains and withdraw, you gently reach out to someone instead. If anxiety is urging you to avoid, you approach in small, manageable steps. If anger wants you to raise your voice, you speak calmly and step back. It can feel counterintuitive at first, but acting opposite to an unhelpful urge is like easing your foot onto the brake of a runaway roller coaster and steering somewhere better. The last piece is about the longer game, and it matters just as much. If your days are filled only with stress and demands, your emotional baseline sinks, and everything feels heavier. So DBT encourages us to build positive experiences and a sense of mastery on purpose. That means scheduling small, enjoyable things each day, and then actually pausing to savor them rather than rushing past. It means setting achievable goals and genuinely celebrating the progress, even the tiny wins. Over time, these deposits build a buffer of resilience, so that when hard emotions arrive, and they will, you're meeting them from steadier ground. So please remember this: mastering your moods isn't about never feeling the difficult stuff. It's about understanding your emotions, accepting them as valid, and having real tools to respond well. Mindfulness, opposite action, checking the facts, looking after your body, and building positive experiences are skills, and like any skill, they get easier with practice. Start small, be patient with yourself, and celebrate each step. If your emotions have felt overwhelming and you'd like support to learn these skills, that is something we can help with. You can read the full guide, or book an appointment, using the links in the description below at Potentialz Unlimited in Bella Vista. We'd be glad to help you master your moods, one skill and one moment at a time. Before you go, here's a quick recap of what we covered. What emotions are actually for. How to name and understand an emotion. Reducing vulnerability through everyday self-care. Opposite action. Shifting emotional momentum. Building mastery and positive experiences. And one small thing that really helps more people find this. Subscribe for weekly mental health explainers. Like this video if you found it helpful. Share it with someone who might need it.